Reddit, a household name, filed to go public last week. It's estimated to be valued over $5 billion on the New York Stock Exchange under ticker symbol RDDT. Wow, quite down from its jarring $10 billion valuation in 2021. The number of shares being issued and share price is not finalized, but that will be released in March during the company's roadshow pitch to investors. Talk about an unprofitable company that's just burning through millions of dollars in cash, will ya? The company has reported operating losses of $90.8 million in 2023, despite revenue up 21% from $666 million to $804 million in 2023. Reddit wants their users to be owners. So they're inviting qualified users, qualified that is, and moderators who've contributed to Reddit to buy shares in their IPO alongside other investors in the IPO through a directed share program, which allows them to set aside shares for the retail investors. They're trying to build loyalty through ownership, real ownership, that is. Most companies do not typically favor this because of the volatility that comes with the retail guys. Large institutional investors are not trading in and out of names after an IPO, but Reddit aims to give an undetermined number of shares to over 75,000 of its most prolific Redditors. These individual investors are more prone to selling on any first sign of weakness, so there's volatility there. They also will set aside stock to sell to individual investors through brokerages such as Fidelity, SoFi, and Robinhood. In terms of the timeline, the company hoped actually to be valued at more than $15 billion when it confidentially filed for its IPO back in December of 2021, after its $10 billion private funding round from Fidelity that injected $700 million of capital into the business. This was months after, remember, the Wall Street Bets subreddit had blown up and driven a bunch of attention, a bunch of eyes to the company. And don't forget the COVID boom a year before, which sent all of us home browsing the web through Reddit threads. Talk about an exploding valuation. Just back in February of 2021, the thing had already doubled to $6 billion by that year. And by the year end, around August, getting a $10 billion valuation from investors, while $10 billion didn't really look at like anything in the face of Twitter, $52 billion market value, and Meta, so-called time Facebook, which was $1 trillion. It was chump change in front of that. Since the last 2 years, the company has been taking extensive steps to increase its ad revenue, driving it from 100 million to just short of 800 million. Wow, just look at the multiple and valuation in 2021. That's 100 times sales. 100 times. Come on. And if it went through with the IPO, that thing would have been priced at 150 times. That's out of this world. Give me a break. Now, it might seem reasonable, but the company has plans to grow its monetization strategy, all while the market has become more rational. Now, the company looks to sell 10% of its shares in the IPO after waiting on the sidelines for the last 3 years. Remember, since 2021. Now it's 2024. This would be the first IPO of a major social media company since Pinterest in 2019. The IPO spigot is recovering slightly after sharp rate hikes in 2022, and then we had the IPOs of Arm Holdings, Birkin, and Sheen at the tail end of 2023. Now, in 2024, we had BrightSprings, the KKR-backed health service company, but that could not stir up enough demand for its $18 share price, which actually opened up at $12 a piece, a $3 billion market cap. With the presidential elections coming up, they typically shut down the IPO spigot for a period of weeks to months, which could make it even more important that the market is friendly to such new listings in the first half of this year. Let's keep an eye out for this Reddit. Now, Reddit, a little background here, was founded in 2005 by its founder Steve Huffman and Alexis Ohanian, and backed by several well-known investors such as Andreessen Horowitz and Tencent Holdings. Now, Huffman left the CEO spot in 2010, but rejoined in 2015, and in 2011, during that time, the company was spun off the conglomerate magazine company. And since then, Reddit has accumulated over 73.1 million daily active unique users and 267.5 million weekly active users, and 100,000 subreddit communities, a billion posts. That's a lot. Now let's talk about the business model. Reddit generates substantially all of their revenue through the sale of advertising spots on its mobile applications and website. Think cost per mil and clicks cost per click. They also are starting to generate a small portion of their revenue from data licensing, useful for think large language models, Google especially, and sentiment analysis for algorithmic trading. Now, Reddit also has premium subscriptions and Reddit Gold, as well as they have products in their user economy, such as collectible avatars. Revenue from Reddit Gold, however, and collectible avatars are immaterial to its periods. The primary costs the company has are R&D, hundreds of millions of dollars in R&D, and marketing as well. In terms of profitability, the company keeps losing money. It has not been aggressively bringing advertising dollars enough onto its site compared to other social media platforms like Facebook or Twitter. Now, this is a mistake because the company operates a highly differentiated social platform. Hey, look, it's not even a platform, it's a community. Just look at how Huffman calls it. He calls it a city with 100,000 neighborhoods, each with a distinct identity, their interests that are. So it's great for targeted marketers who are looking to target people on the basis of their interests. They have high intent users that trust the information on Reddit. 75% of people trust that information, right where advertisers need to be. Now let's talk about their growth strategy. Reddit is focused on growing one, their awareness, two, their international presence, and three, the engagement on the platform. The company still wants to grow the platform, hopefully turning closer to profitability. And it's going to do this by growing awareness through increased off platform presence, by making it easier to share and embed Reddit content onto other surfaces and other websites to bring them towards the Reddit platform. Now, they want to continue to grow their international user base, which currently makes up about 50% of the Redditors on the platform. That's 36.7 million international daily active unique users, a 21% growth year over year. They will continue to expand by adding other languages. 90% of the platform right now is English. So they want to translate into other languages and bring location specific content. Next, they want to increase their engagement through AI, recommended relevant posts. I don't want any posts, I want relevant posts. So they retrain their home feed algorithm with more data, more signals, leading to an increase in 30%. Hear that, 30% in users consuming a post for more than 30 seconds. Impressive, the power of AI. But show me the money. So let's talk monetization. The company started selling ads actually back in 2006, but they only more meaningfully began investing in the ad technology and the bidding behind it in 2018 when they focused on top US advertisers and over time have expanded to mid-sized and smaller advertisers in new geographies. During the 3 months ending in December of 2023, average revenue per user based on daily active unique users was $3.42, a decrease of 2% compared to $3.49 the prior year. Now, the United States, we need to split them up. So the United States had an average revenue per user of 551, down from 592 in the prior period. And the rest of the world was $1.34 compared to $1.30 for the prior period. So overall, we can see a decline in ARPU, average revenue per user, which is primarily because of the higher number of daily active unique users, but mainly logged out users, which have lower monetization opportunities. What do I mean by lower or higher logged out users? Well, these are people that are not signed into the platform. So they probably come from Google and they're not actually actively signed on, which means that they're less likely to be monetizable from the platform or from a marketer's perspective. So this means that there is a large, also unduplicated audience that advertisers are eyeing and trying to tap into. Reddit has struck now a deal with Alphabet to make its content available to train their artificial intelligence models. So that's the data licensing business. And the contract is worth $60 million a year to Reddit. Data licensing, it's the new business, and it's the way of the future's growth. So what's the bottom line here? Well, the IPO looks pretty appealing. It's a household name, right? But with anything, most IPOs will get bid up at the start of trading, especially if there are retail investors involved. So I would be careful. The key here is how quickly the company can move towards profitability while continuing to grow its top line of daily active unique users and monetizing the platform much more efficiently, driving average revenue per user in the data licensing business.